Hello folks, Alex here. In this video tutorial is to show you how to program your inputs, your 8 inputs located in the Feniex 4200 controller. I'll start off by programming input H. Input H is my ignition mode. When a 12 volt plus signal is inserted into input H and activated, then the device or the 4200 controller will be activated. If input H does not, or ignition does not receive a 12 volt signal, the device will not function. If you wish to run the device without an ignition mode, then what you do in that case is simply tie 12 volt constant into input H, and you don't need to worry about ignition capability. In this case, I would like to keep an ignition mode and set a timer sequence. For the most part, I would like to have an additional 5 minutes whenever I power down my vehicle to have my controller illuminated and active in the event I need it for a quick situation. So I have input H selected and I have my time set on 5 minutes. Granted, I can go up to 1 hour or up to 2 hours, however much I see fit. So granted, for the most part, you normally see anywhere between 2 minutes to 15 minutes on an ignition mode. Now, when I click over to daytime mode, that is the backlit panel at full brightness. So the backlit panel has 2 modes, nighttime and daytime. The reason why is because the daytime mode is extremely bright during nighttime application. It's bright enough to light up the entire vehicle inside and can be very intrusive. But obviously it's for daytime application so that you can see the backlit panel illuminated green. When a button is pressed, that button changes from green to red. In this case, for the most part, I tie my daytime activation in with ignition. Therefore, whenever I activate my vehicle, it also activates my backlit panel during the daytime. So it's as simple as that. I tie it in with my ignition wire, and I can set my timer on that. Therefore, whenever I deactivate ignition, I also have my backlit panel on for a set period of time, but that's not really necessary in this specific case. So my ignition wire coming from my vehicle's junction box will plug into input H, and will also split off and plug it into input G. Therefore, whenever I activate my vehicle, I both activate the control panel and activate the backlit panel. Now that shows you how to program input H and input G. Input F is my nighttime mode. Obviously, it dims down the brightness by roughly down to 20% of the overall brightness of the control panel. Therefore, during nighttime, it's soft, it's easy on the eyes, and it's not intrusive. What I do there is I take my 12 volt plus wire coming from my vehicle's headlight bulb and simply wire that in to input F. What that does now is every time I activate my headlights, or obviously for nighttime application, the system will auto dim. Therefore, you don't need to go in and press any buttons to set it for nighttime use. Whenever your headlight is activated, your system will dim. Input F, nighttime mode, overrides input G, daytime mode. So that is the simple configuration there. Now, whenever I power off my vehicle's headlight, granted, it will then engage daytime mode because daytime mode will be activated through the ignition. So that is how to program my daytime, nighttime, and ignition capability. Input A through input E is open to the user. Now, you can plug in a variety of different functionalities into this device. For example, if I wish to program my high beams to also turn on my takedowns. For example, input E, I'll take my high beam wire, 12 volt plus wire coming off my high beam, plug that into input E, and select input E to activate my takedown. Let's assume in this case my takedown is button 10. So I will simply select button 10. And now every time I activate input E, button 10, aka my takedowns, will illuminate. A lot of folks really like that type of feature where their high beams also activate their takedowns. Additional functionalities, let's say such as horn, my vehicle's horn. I take my vehicle's horn wire, split off the 12 volt plus wire, run that down, and let's say I plug that into input D, and every time I activate my horn, I wish for my siren horn to go off. And let's assume my siren horn is button 18. So in this case, I select input D, find button 18, select button 18, and now every time I apply my horn, it will activate button 18. Every input is momentarily selected, meaning that when the input receives a 12-volt signal, it will activate the desired function until the 12-volt signal is removed from the input. There is no on-off capability of a input. Again, a 12-volt signal for a set period of time will keep the input activated. And when that 12-volt signal is removed from that input, the input is deactivated. So again, you have a set of inputs open to the creativity of the user. Every input can deactivate a button, activate a button, or activate a port. An input can activate wigwag. An input can even activate left arrow or right arrow, or a set of, obviously, your arrow controller. So in that case, if I want to connect, if I wish to do something crazy and select a left arrow signal to activate with input A, and my right arrow to activate with input B, and I wish to wire in my left turn signal, my right turn signal with input A and input B, by all means you can do that. It's open to the creativity of the installer. I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.